Good evening. My name is Tom Ficklin, the host of Empowered Voices and Chief Information Officer at Empower New Haven. We've had the pleasure of being on public access and had the pleasure of really being supported by Citizens Television for several years. And this show is an important one, and I might appear to be very relaxed during this show, but often when you have important things to say and important things that you feel, we tend to get overly animated or overly excited and just run here and there and don't really take time to really center ourselves and think about what we're doing, particularly when there's something very important to us. And the us I'm using here in terms of something that's important to us is something that's important to Empower New Haven, something that's important to Citizens Television, and we hope something that's important to you. So I'm often, folks will sometimes joke about my talking too quickly, so I'm going to be more deliberate today, this evening, during this show, and we're going to have some fun also. We're going to show some excerpts from a particular panel discussion entitled "Empowering Black Women in Hollywood" that was presented by the American Black Film Festival. I had a chance to attend that particular workshop and conference on vacation, but still it's important enough to bring back some information. But the main point that we're here for this particular show is to thank Citizens Television for allowing us to be on the air for several years, to communicate our mission, to thank you, the viewer, for listening, and to urge you, the viewer, to consider supporting Citizens Television in any way that you think is appropriate. I have some specific suggestions to make in that regard. But again, this is a free society. This is a free democracy, at least to a large degree. And so people can exercise their ways of supporting Citizens Television. You can volunteer here. You can make a contribution. You can spread the word about Citizens Television. You can even, this might sound even strange, but you can even take advantage of Citizens Television. And that helps to support it, because the more diverse and unique programming that Citizens Television provides, that also gives back to the community. The point of the show is really to communicate that it's an interactive process. People contribute to Citizens Television by their time, energy, talent, and hopefully financial resources, and I'll get to that in a second. And then it's returned, that value is returned. So it's a nonprofit organization, you will, but the community profits. And the goal of Citizens Television is how can the community, in all of its respects and all of its dualities and all of its diversity, how can the community profit from what media has to offer? If this is not, Citizens Television is not in competition with your favorite commercial station, whatever that might be. We're not in competition with BET or MTV or Fox News Channel. In fact, it's, I don't even like to think of it, it's not a competition in my standpoint. It's a very viable choice. And as we all know, information is power, and how you obtain information, secure information, digest information. There's various ways to do that on your, either from podcasts or your iPod or on the internet. There's so many ways, but Citizens Television provides you with a consistent vehicle on channels 23, 26, and 27 to see what's going on in the public, to see what's going on in the educational arena, to see what nonprofits are involved with, to see what churches are involved with, to see what your school system is involved with, in essence, to see what you are involved with. I just want to make a few comments in terms of one of the shows that's one of my most popular shows on Citizens Television, and I don't have any problem in saying that it's one of my most popular ones. If it was on any other station, I would watch it on any other station. It's something called the Democracy Now!, and it's hosted by Amy Goodman. Many of you may have seen Democracy Now! It airs on Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., also repeats on 12 midnight, again, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m., as well as 12 midnight, and also airs Monday through Thursday at 12 noon. Democracy Now! Is really, it's titled so appropriately because people tend to forget that, or we tend to believe that democracy is something that was established in 1776, whenever you want to refer to, or the Magna Carta, or wherever you want to refer to the word democracy, whenever that emerged, or go back to the Greeks and Athens. And when you say democracy now, the assumption is that democracy is over, or it's been established, and we don't have to always reinvent or renew or replenish democracy. So Democracy Now!, the title is so appropriate because, as we all know, democracy is not something that we can take for granted. It's always, some might say a fight, a competitive fight, others might say a battle, others might say an idea that always has to be reinvented, and people have to contribute to new democracy, because the title itself, what is democracy? We had a democratic system when we had slavery. We had a democratic system when we had women couldn't vote. So the democratic system does not by itself instill or guarantee what we tend to call human rights or civil rights or international rights. So democracy is something that's a vibrant idea that has to be replenished daily, minute by minute, second by second, by all of us. And Citizens Television is part of that democracy process. The public access stations nationwide is part of that advocacy process, is part of that process of guaranteeing our civil liberties, our human rights, our communication rights now and moving forward. But Democracy Now!, the show itself, which is hosted by Amy Goodman, which airs on Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and at 12 midnight, and also airs Monday through Thursday at 12 noon, is one of my favorites. And I say one of my favorites, Bill O'Reilly's show on Fox News Channel is also one of my favorites. Why is that? Amy is sometimes categorized, Amy Goodman, as being on the left. Bill O'Reilly is sometimes categorized as being on the right. I think sometimes we let, and this might sound kind of strange, we let the media, whatever that means, to define how we receive information. Bill O'Reilly has as much content in my mind as Amy Goodman. Is it content that I always agree with? Of course not. But to be confronted and to debate and to hear ideas that might not be in sync or compatible with your ideas helps you to grow as a person. And that's just my personal belief, but it's something I believe very, very dearly. So I watch Bill O'Reilly, I watch Amy Goodman. And not that I have nothing else to do with my life, and you may have other priorities and pressures, which I certainly understand. But Democracy Now! Airs here on Citizens Television, and it's a very unique and insightful show. If you've never watched it, I encourage you to do so. The reason I'm talking about Democracy Now! Is that although Citizens Television is theoretically free, and I'll talk about what I mean by that in a second, the Democracy Now! Program, it's an expense-involved initiative here at Citizens Television. The satellite that's needed to bring in the programming of Democracy Now!, Citizens Television has to pay for that satellite feed. And those costs are not covered by the cable industry contribution and your contribution to Citizens Television, given you if you're a subscriber to Comcast. To make a long story short, the Free Speech TV satellite feed is there's a cost involved. This show, this Empowered Voices show, is an unabashed, direct, looking you in the face request, appeal, invitation to support Democracy Now! By your financial contribution. You've heard these financial contribution pitches on NPR, on other stations, on WSHU, etc. This is no different in this regard, and I'm pleased and proud and privileged to kind of speak to the fact that Democracy Now! Should be supported. If your support is something that you would want to tangibly express, tangibly demonstrate and share your love, your affection, your appreciation, your admiration for Democracy Now!, we certainly urge you to support Democracy Now! by a financial contribution of $25. That $25 is so desperately needed. When I say desperately, it's not that it's overly desperate, but it's a sincere need to have the Democracy Now! Programming continue to air here for your benefit, for the community's benefit, in order to keep carrying the Democracy Now! Programming. You can make a donation, as you know, many donations these days in terms of these telethon or television appeals are easy to make through either many people have what is called a PayPal account. You can make your $25 contribution in that regard, or you can send your check for $25 or more. And again, I throw in or more because, again, everyone, this is an invitation to donate from the heart, the soul, the spirit, also from the cognitive level. So $25 would be great. If you're in a position to contribute more, certainly that would be appreciated as well. And those checks could be sent to Citizens Television here. As many of you know, Citizens Television was earlier located in New Haven. Now we're in Hamden, and the address is 2666 State Street, 2666 State Street here in Hamden, Connecticut, 06517-2232. Again, that address is Citizens Television Incorporated, 2666 State Street, Hamden, Connecticut, 06517-2232. You can also go to the Citizens Television website. Websites are they have become necessary. and they're popular, and they're user-friendly, and they're easy. And so Citizen Television website is a website that I just urge you to refer to just for general purposes. But particularly if you're interested in more information about what Citizen Television is doing, its programming, its staff, the availability of training, the availability to use the studio. Again, this is your resource, and this helps keep democracy now and into the future. But the Citizens Television website is www.citizenstv.net, www.citizenstv.net. I want to mention also, just before we go to the clip pertaining to the Empowering Women, Black Women in Hollywood workshop that features Cicely Tyson, Loretta Devine, hosted by Sean Robinson. Many of you may have seen her on Entertainment Weekly and other shows. Entertainment Tonight, I believe it is. Mara Akil Brock. Mara Akil Brock is the originator, the creator of Girlfriends. Also, the panel, in addition to Cicely Tyson and Kimberly Devine, has Susan DePass. Many of you may remember Susan DePass in terms of her being in the executive leadership for Motown. She now has her own production company. She's also working with Mara Akil Brock, as well as Kimberly Elise. So you have someone such as Cicely Tyson on this panel, who many of you may remember was involved with Sounder in 1971, married to Miles Davis, a model prior to that. Really one of the premier black actors in America, in the world for that matter. She has a star in Hollywood and Vine. Loretta Devine, who many of you have seen in the various shows, movies, plays, etc., Waiting to Exhale, etc. Kimberly Elise in some of the more contemporary movies, etc. And so you have Susan DePass. So you have people that have been on this, and with the impact of blacks and ethnic folks and minority folks in the Hollywood scene, and they're sharing their insights from many years up until the current years. But before we go there, in addition to supporting Citizens Television in terms of democracy now, it's really important that folks consider becoming a supporting member of Citizens Television. That's what the appeal is, just for $12 annually per household to become a supporting member of Citizens Television. As you may know, but it bears repeating that Citizens Television is supported by cable subscribers at the annual rate of $7.78. That comes to 65 cents per month, and it pays for most of the things at CTV and keeps this operation operating in an efficient and effective fashion under the leadership of Joe Schofield and his staff. But again, $7.78 annually, 65 cents a month. Obviously, that's not enough. In addition, however, in a negative way, given the current competition in terms of the media wars, in terms of the current competition of how people are accessing data, in terms of the current competition of how people are listening or securing TV broadcasts through cable, through satellite, and who knows what the new technologies might be. As a result of all this competition, more and more people, as I mentioned, are going to satellite, and income is shrinking, allowing and disappointingly allowing fewer and fewer events to be held, like school plays, athletic coverage, covering the parades, Freddie Fix-It Parade, the Italian-American parade, the Hispanic parades, the Irish parades, the fireworks, etc. Important local events and nonprofit agencies. Funding does matter. Funding does matter. We urge you to become a supporting member of Citizens Television. $12 a year would be the annual request. Become a member for your household. Think of it. If only 10% of the 60,000 cable subscribers became supporting members of Citizens Television at just $12 per year, think of how much could change, how much could be improved, how many more programs we could cover, how more in depth we could be, how many more cameras could be available for loan, how many more training sessions could occur. This is the media has never been, the importance of media in my mind here, I'm speaking selfishly, but personally, has never been more important. We know we're bombarded with various types of pitches and sales pitches and vested interest and political campaigns and media campaigns and product campaigns. Citizens Television gives the citizen a chance to participate in that battle with the equipment that he or she needs, the ammunition that he or she needs, if I might go so far to say that. We ask you to join today to become a supporting member of Citizens Television. $12 annually for per household. And again, you can join by your credit card or debit card through PayPal, or you can mail your check to Supporting Membership, Citizens Television Incorporated, 2666 State Street, Hamden, Connecticut, 06517-2232. That information will obviously be on the screen. And I'd just like to thank you now for your contribution. I'm sure that some of you that are listening and will see this show and its re-airing will consider this appeal. And it's appeal to you. It's an appeal to your family. It's an appeal to your church. It's an appeal to people in your workplace that really strongly believe and fervently believe, and I know that you do, that community media has a role, has a place, it's vibrant, and we do not want to see these airwaves go dark, and we'll talk about that near or long-term possibility as well. We're going to go to the brief excerpt now from the American Black Film Festival 2006 film conference that was held in late July in Miami Beach, and a particular workshop that featured, as again I mentioned, Cicely Tyson, Loretta Devine, Mara Akil Brock, Susan DePass, Kimberly Elise, and moderated by Sean Robinson. And we're going to show roughly 10 minutes of it. We'll come back with some additional announcements about Empower New Haven. We're involved with various things. 3 new product launches in September. Empower New Haven is about making change, making a lasting difference for generations to come. And stay tuned for this brief excerpt from the workshop panel, and then we'll come back with some further announcements.
Please welcome Kathy and Humphreys to say a few words. To have all of you here on the panel today. Empowering Black women to succeed in Hollywood. That is the topic for this evening, and these are certainly the women who are going to talk about this and give you some advice on what we can do to empower ourselves. If I read their entire resume, we would be here until next week. So, Pass Entertainment Group. Friday of the Black Movie Awards, which is a fantastic show. So you guys gotta come on and see that one. What can we say about Miss Cicely Tyson? Just a superb actress, able to go before me.
That was a very curious time. It was for me, that day in particular. First of all, I'm afraid if we are not careful, we're going to make a damn good film, and it's not going to be just for children. And he was absolutely right. However, I don't think that we were ready for the impact that it had. And I also have a tremendous amount of respect for 20th Century Fox, because I remember when the film opened, Paul Winfield, obviously so, and I walked down Broadway past the theater, and there wasn't a soul standing in front of the theater. And we were wrecked. My agent, Bob Radnitz, Paul's agent, and 20th Century got together and decided that they had something really quite unique, and to get behind it and push it. And the rest is history. That just goes for one thing to let you know how important it is not only to do things on something, I'm oblivious to everything else that exists. And people kept running to me that day, trying to tell me something, and I said, I don't want to hear it, whatever it is, I don't want to hear it. But I said, I don't want to hear it. Well, they finally, and when I completed the shoot, I was bombarded. You were nominated, you were nominated, you were nominated. I said, for what? And the movie started, I said, who else? And then they told me, of course, that Paul was also nominated. That is, by the way, the first time that year Diana Ross was nominated also for Ladies in the Blues. And that was the first time in the history that 3 African Americans were nominated for the Oscar. That was the first time that ever happened. All right, did I answer your question?
I tell you, it's as thick as War and Peace here. I mean, we have done it all. Let's talk about, you and I had a chance to talk briefly last night, and we were talking about the climate of things when you were first starting out. Someone like a Kimberly Reese can say, Cicely Tyson was my role model. Was there anybody in your life at all was a role model? Did you have anybody to look up to who did what you did?
The short answer is no, in the sense that there were no people, no women, doing what I thought I wanted to do. And I was trying to figure it out as I was going, of course. But I did have role models. My mother is my role model. She now works at my company in a bit of role reversal. But I just want to, at the risk of sounding terribly self-serving, I want to go back to that day of those nominations because I was nominated that day too. And I think that and how disappointing it was to come to Hollywood. I did not come intending to be a writer. In fact, to this day, one of the people in my company researched it and said, did you know that you are the only African American woman ever nominated in the Ida writing category? And I remember all of us sitting there, and I think that Lonnie Elder was nominated as well. So there were really kind of, and Bill Astley was nominated for music. It was a bumper crop year for Black people. And I think that in terms of the nominations that get the most sort of acclaim and profile and all that kind of stuff, it's certainly the acting, followed closely by Best Picture and directing. And so I can remember sitting there in a total awestruck state that the show that I watched as a kid growing up on television and thinking one day I can be there, I was there. And I was still pretty much a kid. And I think that in terms of getting back to the question about, first of all, it was very disappointing because Lady Sings the Blues was nominated for 5, we didn't win any. Sound was nominated for 4, I believe, didn't win any. But we were in there. And then it seemed like there were light years before we were in there again in any kind of significant way. But 1972 was a good year for Black people in Hollywood. But that role model thing is very important because I would look at Barry Gordon and I would look at certain women in the company, in Motown Records where I started. But there were no women really in charge of big things. And at that time I was just happy to be in the room and happy that anybody would let me be in the room. I now can tell you that I have been the youngest person in the room. I am now the oldest person in the room. And they're worth exactly the same thing. Nobody listens to you unless you really go crazy. But the thing that I think we are so fortunate today to look around and see that there are not only role models, but people who are actively mentoring young people who are coming along. But the one thing that I think I learned the hard way, because I didn't really have a woman to go and talk to and say, well, what do you do in this case and what do you do in that case, and how do you get around people hitting on you, or how do you get around the perception that all you should do is get coffee and how, you know. So I kind of had to learn that myself. But I would say just, you know, for my first little foray, for those people who think that this is an interesting life and work that they might want to pursue, brace yourselves. Really, brace yourselves, because if you come to, and when we say Hollywood, we really mean filmmaking and the entertainment industry, no matter where the geography takes you. This is so difficult, and it's so tough. you better have something else driving you besides fame, fortune, bling, the things that are external. You better love this work. You better love it. And if you don't, I respectfully suggest you find something else to do, because it is so tough. And at the same time, it is so rewarding. And it is the feeling of taking something from an unseen, sort of imaginary space of an idea and working with people and being part of a team of people, because nobody does this stuff alone. And coming together and making it happen and standing in the back of a theater and hearing people laugh or hearing them sniff and cry and having that experience, if you are the type of person to do this work, well, the money is great, but that's the reward. To feel as though you have affected people, and in so doing, you've affected yourself and lifted your spirit and hopefully someone else's spirit. So I would say that, no, I didn't have a female role model in my part of the business per se, but if I can save people 10 minutes time that I went down the wrong path and I went down another wrong path and learned things the hard way, and I don't think anybody ever learns things the easy way, but I would really be happy to do that. I'm happy for this opportunity to say, brace yourselves. I'm happy for this opportunity to say, if no is not your vitamin, then forget it. I've been told no so many times in my life. I thought it was my name for a while. I go, oh, no. So, there are lots of things that impact on what it is to do this, and what I think it takes to not just succeed, because success is measured in different ways, but to just last, to stick it out, and to have the opportunity to do the work. And that's what it is. It is work. It is. So little of it is glamorous. So little of it is what people read about and what they come to it possibly thinking. It's a lifelong love affair with the creative process that I think sets the tone for anybody to do this. And I'm going to ask each of us to think about it.
Welcome back. I wanted to show that excerpt from the American Black Film Festival conference. By the way, ABFF.com is the website. ABFF, American Black Film Festival.com. ABFF.com is the link to find out more information about next year's Black Film Festival in Miami Beach, as well as you can still see the information and workshops that took place this year. But I wanted to show that brief excerpt from the Empowering Black Women in Hollywood workshop to kind of indicate that, again, Citizens Television, you can find information from national information, international content, national content, local content, block by block content, and it all relates. And again, this particular workshop that you just saw, I think I'm sure you agree that you found it of interest. The complete show will air again next Wednesday. There's a show on Citizens Television on Wednesdays on channel 26 at 9 o'clock, Images. And it conveys and evokes and communicates arts-related content, either performances, workshops. There's previous shows have spotlighted the Last Poets, have spotlighted a documentarian by the name of Louis Messiah, who was involved with films regarding W.B. Du Bois, artists, poets, Sonia Sanchez, poetry readings by Amanu Baraka, formerly Leroy Jones, Donnell Lee, now Makabudi, I forget his last name, but so black artists, black movies, black films, black paintings. There's been also in this Images show that airs on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock on channel 26, some footage, if you will, from the Black Arts Festival that's held in Philadelphia each year in November. The October Gallery presents it. It's the largest visual arts festival from the ethnic persuasion in America, held at the LaCour Center at Temple University. To make a long story short, there's a variety of programming that if you go to the Citizens Television website, citizenstv.net, you can find the programming. Tim DeGrady here on staff under, again, the leadership of Joe Schofield does a tremendous job of managing all that programming schedule, and there's a wealth, a plethora, an abundance of programming that might be of interest to you. And again, that goes back to why it's so important to support CTV. I referenced in the first segment Amy Goodman. I had a chance to hear Amy in person. It's something called the netsquared.org conference, netsquared.org. I urge you to take a look at that website, netsquared.org. NetSquared. It's a subset, if you will, of TechSoup.org, TechSoup.org. And you go to TechSoup.org, and as a derivative, you'll see the netsquared.org. But there was a conference in late May talking about the impact of the internet, the impact of podcasts, the impact of blogs, the impact of YouTube, the impact of being able to upload video, the MySpace of the world, all these new, if you will, technologies, and how does that influence how society behaves? How does that influence how people acquire information? There is an impact on us, on our behavior about these technologies. The conference in late May, Amy Goodman spoke because, again, she is a person that has an insight, who has a reputation, who has a tradition in media and its impact on society. So again, for those of you that did not have the opportunity to attend the NetSquared conference and hear Amy in person, you had the opportunity here on CTV to hear her multiple times during the week. But again, we need the support. Citizens Television needs the support for the satellite feed for that to happen. So again, Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman, and by the way, Juan Gonzalez also is a kind of a co-anchor on several of the shows. Juan is very much involved with the National Hispanic Journalists Association as well. But Democracy Now! Airs Mondays through Fridays at 8 a.m. and 12 midnight, as well as Monday through Thursday at 12 noon. But we need your support for that satellite feed. And again, we're asking you to consider a donation of $25 to support the satellite feed for Democracy Now! And you can use your PayPal account. You can call Citizens Television to find out for more information. The information to reach Citizens Television, if you choose to send in a check, will appear on the screen. And again, the Citizens Television address is 2666 State Street here in Hamden, Connecticut, 06517. Just wanted to mention, in terms of Empower New Haven, people often ask, what do we do? We're involved with making a lasting change for generations. That sounds like a phrase. It is a phrase, but it's a core value. And when you have a core, when your business has, or your institution, or your church, or your nonprofit has a core value, it's easy to make decisions after that if you're focused on your core value. So how do we make a lasting change for generations to come? Our belief is that a home helps that to happen. Our belief is that a solid education helps that to happen. Our belief is that acquiring jobs and job mobility helps that to happen. Our belief is starting a business or exercising your entrepreneurial skills. Our belief is by having a job, if young people have a job during the summer, if they have jobs even during the school year in terms of their internships and career development, that helps to make a lasting change for generations to come. All these things are perpetuated by our various initiatives. I urge you to go to our website, empowernewhaven.org, to find out more information, to call the office 776-2777, and to ask for even a copy of our annual report, which may be of interest to you. We issue a newsletter. We've also been able to create an on-demand video channel. I urge you to go to our website. On the front page of our website, there's an on-demand video link to roughly 80 videos, short videos that we've uploaded, where people can have access to that information as well about shows that we've been involved with, Empower New Haven Testimonies, Empower New Haven Stories, Empower New Haven Partnerships, all for people to know. But in September, one of our newest programs, it's a continuation of our Home Power program. As we speak, as people tune in, as people get up this morning, as people go to bed tonight, they'll get up in a home that they've never had before. They'll go to bed in a home that they've never had before. Hundreds of people, we've been blessed and fortunate to be part of that acquisition. We've been blessed and fortunate to be part of that way for people to have their dream come true, the dream of home ownership. So hundreds of people now are in homes that we've been able to assist them with in the securing and purchasing, but we're launching a new program, an enhancement, a new innovative program, a program, quite frankly, that has national policy implications in terms of affordable housing. To find out about these programs, we're having 3 public information sessions on September 9th, September 12th, September 13th. Call the office. We can send you information, send you the invitation, but on September 9th, September 12th, September 13th at the New Haven Public Library, at Johnny Martinez School, at Gateway Community College. But 3 days in September, there's going to be 3 public information sessions to find out about our My Home Power program. MI is, we say My Home Power, but the MI is kind of a way of getting the word in about mortgage insurance. You may not know what mortgage insurance is. That's no big deal. The fact is that in terms of acquiring a home, there's various ways to do that. Sometimes there's various pieces of the puzzle to acquire a home. Sometimes there's various investments. There's various ways to purchase a home, various formulas to purchase a home, various ratios of down payment, various amounts of things you might have to do to acquire your home. Something called mortgage insurance has often been an impediment and or an added burden for people to acquire their home. Our new program, the My Home Power program, will eliminate the need for you to purchase mortgage insurance. This is an innovative national policy implication initiative, and to find out about our My Home Power program and how you can be eligible if you're looking to secure a home for the first time, how you might be able to qualify. We're working with 4 lending institutions: Bank of America, Citizens Bank, People's Bank, and New Alliance Bank. 4 lending institutions only, and there's a deliberate intention. These are people that are reputable, that you will protect your asset. And as we know, there's something called predatory lending. There's something called where you may purchase a home, you may get a mortgage from folks that might not have your best interest in mind. These 4 institutions we partnered with, they will be on site at the September 9th, September 12th, and September 13th public information sessions about our My Home Power program. Call the office, 776-2777, for further information about the My Home Power program. That program is under the leadership here at Empower New Haven by Rosa Dahlberry and Eunice Bonilla. Eunice Bonilla Rivera, I should say. 776-2777. Call the office for more information about the public information sessions for the My Home Power program. A significant amount of money is available per potential homeowner that will reduce your cost, and in this My Home Power program will not only reduce your initial cost but save costs for over the next 10 to 15 years, depending on how your loan application is structured. We're not able to get into specific detail, but the My Home Power program public information session September 9th, 12th, 13th. It's an expansion of our Home Power program, and people that are watching this, and there's no question in my mind that people are watching this from homes that they've been able to secure through their partnership with, and when I say their partnership, their investment, they're working with Empower New Haven, working with Neighborhood Housing Services, working with Hill Development Corporation, working with Greater Dwight Development Corporation, working with Mutual Housing. All these are our partners in terms of this home ownership initiative. We know that that's important for the American dream. An important piece of the My Home Power program is even after you have your home, even after your dream is fulfilled, we want to be sure that we avoid nightmares. Home ownership is not everything that it's always cut out to be, i.e. there are responsibilities, there are investment needs, there are purchase needs, there are wealth preservation needs, there are emergency expenses. There's home ownership is a road that one begins, and it doesn't end just with the acquisition of the home. The My Home Power program helps people to walk down that path with assistance, with knowledge that they will avoid the pitfalls of predatory lending, of losing their home, of foreclosure, of what do they do if they have an emergency, how do they manage their financial literacy, et cetera, working with, for example, the FDIC with a very helpful program in terms of financial literacy. A lot involved with the My Home Power program. Hope that you can join us on September 9th, September 12th, or September 13th at locations throughout New Haven. As I mentioned, the New Haven Public Library, the Johnny Martinez School, and Gateway Community College. Call our office at 776-2777 for further information. We're also launching on September 7th a building contractors training and mentorship program. Empower New Haven is known as people power, home power, work power, business power. What does all that mean? It means that there are categories of a person's life, a category of New Haven. There's an economic category that we're committed to infusing with everyone having a chance to compete effectively in homes and businesses and in your people power and your work power. We know that with the construction that's occurring here in New Haven, there are opportunities for people to compete in that arena. Our building contractors training and mentorship program, there's a kickoff on September September 7th, is leading and managing that initiative for our office. Is people that are involved, that are interested in the contractor's trade. How do you become a building contractor? You're an emerging contractor. We know that there's need for you to kind of see where that path leads. You get started as building on that contractor's road, but can you become a Fusco overnight? Can you become a Gilbane over the night? The answer is no, but you have to start on that path. So how do people start on that path? Let's find out. Can we provide to you classrooms? Yes. Classroom training. Are we providing that? Yes. Are we going to provide some sort of stipend? Yes. Are we going to provide resource centers? Yes. Find out more about our building contractors training and mentorship program. A public information session, kind of a reception and a launch, will be held on September 7th. Call our office, 776-2777. Ask for further information. RSVP to Carla Esdell-Bragg. She's our economic development administrator. She's leading that charge, and we urge you to take advantage of the Building Contractors Training and Mentorship Program. That's a new initiative under the auspices of Empower New Haven. But again, everything we do is in partnership. It's in partnership with the Greater New Haven Business and Professional Association. It's in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. It's in partnership with the City of New Haven in terms of their community, their CEO office, their equal opportunity office, if you will, as well as the Small Business Initiative from the city. So our Building Contractors Training and Mentorship Program, come out, find out more about it, call the office, 776-2777, and we hope to see you there. It's September 7th. It's going to be at the Bank of America, the 27th floor reception. There's a reception floor at the Bank of America on Church Street. Call the office for further information. Let's go back to a brief segment from the Empowering Black Women in Hollywood workshop conference, if you will. I want you to see parts of this workshop that again features Cicely Tyson, Suzanne DePass, Loretta Devine, Mara Akil Brock, hosted and moderated, if you will, by Sean Robinson and also Kimberly Elise. You may not see all those people speak during this next segment. And again, the full show will air Wednesday on Citizens Television, your station, 9 p.m., Channel 26, under the Images program. So let's go to another brief segment, and we'll come back, and thanks for viewing.
To think about one example of a wrong path that you took that you could share with us this evening. So you'd like to know, right? So you don't go down that same street, just so you can think about that. So each of you, let me go to Mrs. Loretta Devine, who is up for her performance as Best Performance by an Actor in Dirty Laundry. Correct me if you got 5, 6, 7 pages here. This is your first leading role, Dirty Laundry? No. That's what they said. I could not believe that. Is it the first leading role in a feature film?
I don't think the role is leading.
No? Okay. They were the teachers of Dirty Laundry were very, very excited about that.
Well, I was in Funny Valentine.
You're so beloved, Loretta. Is it because has there been a challenge for you throughout your career to get more leading roles? I mean, what has been the biggest obstacle for you in terms of getting producers, directors to see you in that light?
Oh, Jesus. I've always wanted to be an actress, a working actress, and I think that's what I've always prayed to be, a working actress. And I've always worked in some way in entertainment, and whenever you're on the set, whatever you're doing that day, you're the leader when you're on that. So I don't think of it, and then people like Tina Allen, who's a sculptor, she told me, she said, you've just been sneaking under the thing, just working, and nobody is bothering you. And I'm like, I just go and do the best I can. I still audition like people that just got to the city. Dirty Laundry, I really enjoy doing, and it's one of the bigger roles I think that I've done, but some of the other things I've done feel to me just as big, Waiting to Exhale. Hoodlums by Pickford Mary. I love her. I just played Fantasia Barretta's grandmother in a thing that's going to be on Lifetime with Debbie Allen directed. And to me, it's just like going to lead. I think if you can create a character that people enjoy. All the roles felt like it's used. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought that was misinformation because I was told that because one of the reasons why this nomination is so special to you is because you were this was your first leading role. But I didn't think that was correct, so thank you very much for setting the record straight. And congratulations on the nomination once again.
Thank you. I hope I win.
About 10 years ago?
12 now, yeah.
About 12 years ago? You know, there was so little for black actresses to choose from, even then. What was it about this profession that made you say, you know, no matter if the choices are very slim, there aren't that many good roles for black women? What made you say, well, this is something that I want to do, and I want to change that path. I want to make things different?
Well, it's just what I came with. It was sort of what was put in me, what I was brought here partly to do is this profession. It's the gift that was given to me. And the obstacles that were in front of me as far as opportunities and parts or no parts never really even occurred to me. I think limited thinking like that limits you. And so I never invited that into my consciousness, and still don't do that. I think it's also important to recognize you come with these gifts and skills, but like Suzanne was saying, there is a group around you or a support base around you that helps you achieve these things. I can acknowledge just about every woman on this panel who single-handedly helped bring me to this place. Ms. Tyson, you know, of course, has always been an inspiration. Suzanne, before anybody knew who I was, took me under her wing and managed me. When I first got to Los Angeles, why, I don't know. Right, John here, you cast me on Girlfriends on a significant role, and that's a part of what happens, is coming together and creating opportunities. Opportunities are created for us, by us. I see it as part of my responsibility to turn around and do the same thing. And if I think with limitations like that, then I limit myself. I limit other great actors who are struggling right now under the radar, above the radar, but not being able to do the best work that I know is within them. And I really think that there's a power in mental thinking and attitude, and that's kind of what drives me, and knowing inside that this is why I'm here.
Mara, you are going into your 7th season of Girlfriends. Congratulations. The WB, there was a point when you guys didn't know if you were going to be in the I mean, there are so many black shows that are not going to be merging those two networks. Let me ask you, when you first got into the business, what was it that you didn't see on television that gave you the drive to write and create like this amazing show?
I didn't see my mother. I didn't see my sister. I didn't see me. I didn't see my girlfriend. And it's funny, there was things you can kind of take a little bit of this, of that character on this TV show, a little bit of that and that film over here. And there wasn't enough for me. And Sex and the City was building my career as a writer as well. And I thought, you know what, this show is getting all this attention and it's supposed to be groundbreaking about these sophisticated women. And I was like, well, we're sophisticated too. And I just wanted to, and we're complex and we deal with things and we don't wake up every morning thinking about being black. And I just wanted to talk about that.
as it related to girlfriends, and it's interesting you brought up the bubble, and UPN and WB will be closing its doors, and the new network, the CW, is emerging out of that. And on the unfortunate side, there's a lot of shows that will go by the wayside, and that includes a lot of shows that are predominantly African American, and that's unfortunate. On the other hand, not that you would ask me this, but I'm going to say it anyway. But I never, like, it's funny listening to Kimberly and listening to Suzanne, I wondered, well, I never thought that I would not be on the CW. I never thought that, and not only is girlfriends going to CW, I have a new television show called The Game also going to the CW, and for me to have an hour of that real estate television time, I'm very thankful for, but in a way, and I do understand when you step back and you think, oh God, you did that. But I kind of thought, well, of course, yes I would. I feel like I deserve to be there. And it comes from, I go back to what Suzanne said, I think because we have Ms. Tyson and Mr. Pass before us, that I know that the road has been paved. And so I say thank you, because I do have confidence knowing that, yeah, I belong here, I'm very entitled, and I say thank you to you as my role models, because I came into this knowing that, like Kimberly said, I can do this. I don't think limited. I don't think that I'm not going to make it. I think that, because if you do, then you've lost already. You've lost. And this is not a game to, and like Mr. Pass said, it's not a game to come in and think anything less, because you can't afford that, because it is difficult. The fight is hard. And I didn't see me. And a long time, it was very funny, little story. Ralph Farquhar, Sarah Finney Johnson, and these years, they were the creators of Moesha, and that's where I got my big start. And I used to put my heart out in the room and say, you know, Moesha will say this, and you know, don't do this. And Ralph would tell me, no, save it for your pilot. And I said, okay.
Again, we didn't show, it's not my intention to kind of tease you and just show you a little bit, not all of it. Wednesdays, 9 o'clock, the Empowering Black Women in Hollywood workshop, or panel discussion, if you will, which is part of the American Black Film Festival conference that was held in Miami Beach in mid-July. Tune in in its entirety. The reason I've been interjecting those particular clips in this particular show was, again, to kind of not necessarily tell you something you don't already know already, but to kind of amplify and illustrate the value of citizens television, where there's information, content, comedy, themes, community issues, churches, athletics, things you're going to find that you're not going to find elsewhere. And again, Joe Schofield and his staff, they do a tremendous job, but everyone needs a capital infusion from time to time. And as referenced earlier, the Amy Goodman show, Democracy Now!, is so popular, and we want to be sure that it continues to air here on Citizens Television. And for your support, which would be greatly appreciated, $25, and information will be on the screen in terms of how that can happen in terms of using PayPal or sending your check to Citizens Television. As we wind down, I just want to mention, I mentioned earlier our two new initiatives, the My Home Power, which is an expansion of our Home Power initiative, and those dates again will take place on September 9th, 12th, and 13th. Public information sessions about how, if you're looking to secure a home for the first time, our My Home Power initiative could be something that would really be advantageous for you to pursue. And I also referenced our business contractors training and mentorship program, and there will be a kickoff for that on September 7th. Lastly, we're also starting the Empowerment Zone Leadership Institute, an Empowerment Zone Neighborhood Leadership Institute, Empowerment Zone, an EZ Neighborhood Leadership Institute. Call it what you want, but you get the drift. Leadership for the community. And that's in partnership with Community Mediation. Classes will begin, 4 classes, 4 series of classes. 25 residents per class will meet 4 times. And we're going to run this series 4 times, so a total of 100 Empowerment Zone residents. In cooperation with the Community Mediation, Empowerment Zone is launching this Leadership Institute. It will start in late September. Sherry Gray on our staff 7762777 is providing the lead for our Neighborhood Empowerment Zone Neighborhood Leadership Institute, in conjunction with community mediation. The focus of this Leadership Institute, we're going to bring 25 folks together from the various parts of the Empower New Haven, Dixwell, Newhallville, Dwight, West Rock, Fairhaven, etc., to participate and work together on communication skills, leadership development, teamwork, working together, collaboration, mediating disputes, understanding people's learning styles, understanding better people's learning styles, coming equipped with, people will come out of these sessions, this Leadership Institute, trained and experienced and to be more armored and equipped to how do we now work together more effectively in the community? How do we work together more effectively in your home, in your business, in your school, in your family, anywhere, on your job? We know that communication skills are not the easiest things to, we assume that we communicate, but we all know that communication breakdowns happen all the time. We urge you to take advantage of in spreading the word about our Leadership Institute. Sherry Gray at our office at Empower New Haven can be contacted 7762777. We're presenting it in conjunction with community mediation. The workshops will start in late September. We'll go through 2007 and 4 distinct classes. Also, we'll be launching our, not necessarily launching, but the continuation of the next class for our something called our New Haven Nonprofit Academy. This is an academy where nonprofits, roughly 50 nonprofits already have benefited financially, have benefited in terms of experience and counseling and assessments, and how they can be more effective from a delivery system standpoint. And they've been members, they've graduated from our New Haven Nonprofit Academy. It's a yearly class. The 2007 class, the recruitment for the 2007 class will begin this fall. Call the office, ask to speak to Alejandra Silva. This information as well is on our website, but 7762777 if you'd like more information about how your organization, your nonprofit organization, or your faith-based organization can take advantage of our New Haven Nonprofit Academy. There's so much more to tell about the Empower New Haven story. It's our story in partnership with the community, with you, with organizations, with Citizens Television. We urge you to support Citizens Television. We urge you to support Empower New Haven for that matter, because it's all related, it's all connected, and there's just so much that we hope that you will see the benefit of collaborating to every way that you can daily. It's just my pleasure to kind of be here. There's other things we can talk about, such as there's a challenge going on, there's a competition going on, there's regulation being proposed of how public access should be available to the community because of it's a regulated monopoly, because of the cable systems are in direct competition with the telecommunication companies, if you follow me. So everything, politics, it impacts everything from the small p to the large P, and Citizen Television will be sharing some information about the telecommunications revolution, literally, that's taking place, and that impacts you and I as well. So that's it from Empowered Voices, and again, we thank Joe Schofield and his staff at Citizens Television for allowing us over these years to communicate information, to share information, and to hear your feedback. Take care and have a good evening.